Hello, this is tradesight U.S. stock market and futures market preview for the week beginning Monday, December 9th, ending Friday, December 13th. We're ending on Friday the 13th. Almost halfway through December and running into the holiday stretch here to end the year. We've got about this week and maybe most of next week left to expect much. After that, things are going to dry up. Here's a look at the S&P daily chart. Let's see if we got Rich's 13 seeker sell signal. We can check this by putting it into projection mode, survey says. There it is. 13 sell signal on the S&P today based on the close. That is exciting. We'll see if that means anything here with 3 weeks left of the year and the market at highs. That'll be the battle to be fought. If the seeker wins that battle, then good for the seeker. Keep in mind that the risk line is right up here now. You can see it just barely at the top of the 13. So we've got about 20 points of room to stay under that risk line. Be afraid, or don't be surprised if instead what we do is spend the next couple weeks just under that risk line so the signal stays in place without really rolling over, but anything can happen. Let's take a look also at the NASDAQ 100 index, which is the NDX. And here, did we get it again? Projection mode says 13 sell signal there. It's the first time in a while that both indices have gotten 13 sell signals on the same day, so that certainly adds to the credibility of the signal for sure. Let's look at the SOX index, semiconductors. And this is interesting, isn't it? 13 sell signal back in October, never really did much from there. The risk line from that's still in play, and that's basically the high of the session here on Friday. Really interesting. Let's look at the biotechs as well. Not much going on here. Not much in terms of construction, not much in terms of seeker construction or counts. Not much to look at in general. Apple, by the way, Rich pointed out this week, had a 13 sell signal early in the week. You can see the risk line there. We then got a 9-bar setup phase completed on Thursday. And even though the market gapped up and ran, Apple's rolled over. So again, despite the time of year, despite the fact that the stocks are up, it is going to be an interesting battle. The seeker can easily win that battle, but this is going to be the turning point if there is one on Monday. All right, so that's a look at where we're at in the markets. Let's look at also the oil, price of oil. I thought it's interesting. Kind of climbed this week back towards $98 a barrel, and here's gold, which drifted lower. All right, what did the week look like? There's gold again intra-week. Let's take a look at oil again intra-week. You can see this is just a steady climb up until the flatness Thursday and Friday. Kind of interesting. Not sure what to expect on oil going forward, but I was a little surprised to see that move. What did the S&P to E-mini futures do for the week? Here's a look. We basically had a tiny gap up Monday that filled quickly and then rose a little bit and rolled back down. We had a decent trading day on Monday. Tuesday, a little more wiggly. Wednesday was a great trading day. A lot more action both ways. Traded average daily range and more. Thursday, kind of boring and contained. Friday, we got a big gap up on the non-farm payroll data, and it was really boring intraday there, so not much action. Let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week. Nothing on Monday. Tuesday, wholesale inventories, JOLTS job openings. Wednesday, December 11th, we've got the MBA mortgage index and crude oil inventories, and then Treasury budget in the afternoon. Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims, retail sales, import-export prices, business inventories, natty gas. And that leads us to Friday, the PPI. So none of our big data points really this week. No options expiration. Not even a Fed meeting. Nothing to really focus on this week. I would say the biggest number of the week is probably that retail sales number, and with no data on Monday. It's a straightforward week. Monday is going to be slower. Friday is going to be slower. Most of the activity will be in the middle of the week when the economic data is, and we will be focused on that. I should point out that the S&P range for the entire week last week was about 25 points, which is not huge. And just to show you the same on the NASDAQ side, here's the NASDAQ futures, and the range for the week there was about 60 points, and really barely any seeker or commerce setup phases, much less countdown phases in the whole week on either one. So it's a pretty flat week, and again, this next week's the last full chance for us to see much until the holidays begin. As usual, charts brought to you by eSignal 11. We will be trading it in the lab every day this week with our calls, and hope to see you there.